Well, hello, America. I'm going to make a prediction. I am no longer going to make predictions in this election. Last night, Hillary Clinton beat Barack Obama. I mean, the odds of winning 3 out of the 4 crucial Democratic primaries in Texas, Ohio, and Rhode Island were astronomical, but she did it, and here's the point tonight. Last night, we were all reminded, in no uncertain terms, don't ever count a Clinton political machine out. The Clintons are indestructible terminators of American politics that will destroy anything or anyone that dares get in their way, and here is how I got there. Going into yesterday's primaries, Hillary Clinton lost 11 contests in a row to Barack Obama. His momentum seemed unstoppable. I believe I made the prediction that he'll be the next president of the United States. Whoa. Even though there were those in her own camp that said if Hillary didn't win in Texas and Ohio, it was over. Now it looks like it's not over. The red light started flickering in her eye, and she's back.
For everyone here in Ohio and across America who's ever been counted out but refused to be knocked out, and for everyone who has stumbled but stood right back up, and for everyone who works hard and never gives up, this one is for you.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be excited that a Clinton won an election, and here I am. She is a Clinton, and while her husband doesn't know a lot about morals or, fidelity, he knows something about politics. And if you can afford to fight fair, well, that's cool and everything, but that ship has sailed. Now it's time to claw your way out of a trap like a rat. First, there was the suggestion that Barack Obama had attended a Muslim madrasa. Then the Clinton camp denied spreading that rumor, but an accusation, often it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just planting the seed of doubt. Then there was that mysteriously circulated photo of Obama in a traditional Somali dress. Big deal. I mean, this was a ploy that I guess the presumed goal was to get people to say, gee, that Obama guy kind of looks Muslimish, right? That might be scary. And throughout the campaign, the Clintons have tried to make sure that nobody forgets that Obama's former patron, Tony Rezko, and his Chicago corruption trial is about to begin. The Clintons seem to be saying, if Rezko is on trial, shouldn't Obama be as well? Tonight, America, here's what you need to know. Now things are going to get ugly. There aren't enough delegates left for Hillary or Obama to legitimately, mathematically win the Democratic nomination without a brokered convention or the superdelegates. You can bet your very last dollar that the Clintons will go after the hundreds of delegates that have been disqualified in Michigan and Florida. You see, when the rules don't work for the Clintons, they change them. Even though they helped create those rules in the first place, it doesn't matter. They'll blame it all on the GOP. That's just the fact. There's just too much at stake for Hillary and her gang to play nice. And last night's win just encouraged her. Now, the question is, Obama, will he fight back? I mean, seems like a nice guy, but he may have brought a knife to a gunfight. Last night, Hillary Clinton bought some time, but hell hath no fury, like a Clinton fighting to win. David Mark is a senior editor at the Politico. Let me just do the math here, David. There's 610 delegates left. How do they do it without superdelegates? Can they?
Barack Obama would have to get something like 70%, 77% of the delegates. Hillary Clinton would have to get like 94%. Okay. Basically, it's not going to happen. They're going to be relying on superdelegates.
Okay. So they got to go to the superdelegates. Now, how do you do that without having an ugly scene, 1968 kind of style stuff at the convention?
Well, you try and do it quietly, outside of TV cameras, not in public. Barack Obama is trying to quietly woo these superdelegates and say, hey, stick with me, I'll be good for you. Hillary Clinton, however, is saying, keep your powder dry. Don't commit to him yet. Do you really want him to be the nominee? And she's really trying to hold it open to the convention if she has to.
Can you really legitimately basically bribe these people? They're sending them money. I mean, you can legitimately just send them money?
You can do a lot of things. It might not even be money, although that's one element of it. There's ambassadorships, there's patronage jobs, all kind of federal jobs for people's children, uncles, nephews, whoever it might be. There's lots of things you can do to get people on your side.
I have to ask you, America, isn't this exactly what we're saying is wrong with the government? I mean, I was thinking about it last night. As you're looking at what happened in Texas, where you have to go vote, and then you've got to go to a caucus, I mean, which party understands small, not complex government that makes your life easy? It's crazy the way they're picking this.
Well, it's very strange. The hard part for people to understand, particularly with the Clintons, as you say, they're trying to change the rules in the middle of the game. They're saying, oh, the Texas caucus part, that doesn't really count. Only the primary should count. You're seeing that in Florida and Michigan, so it's very confusing.
The Wall Street Journal also said that there's something else that... I mean, I've asked people, nobody's ever heard of this. There's 76 add-on delegates that I don't even know who selects. They haven't been selected yet. They just could say, well, you know, we're going to add some more super delegates. Well, who do you want?
Well, yeah, they're, quote, bonus delegates, and the dirty little secret of all this is the Democratic National Committee can change who the lineup of super delegates are at any time, right up to the convention.
Well, I mean, you know, David, thank you very much. America,
thanks, Glenn.
I mean, it's like they don't trust you. I mean, well, let's just put enough people in there just in case the people make the wrong choice. Let me broaden the discussion a little bit. Let me go to a Republican strategist, Richard Galen, Democratic strategist, Liz Chatterton. Welcome to both of you. Liz, let me start with you.
Hi, Glenn.
How are you?
Good.
Tired?
Yes.
Yes. Jeez. Okay, NAFTA, Farrakhan, Resco, the Muslim photo. What was it? The 3 a.m. phone call. What was it that was the punch that changed the dynamics in this?
Oh, Glenn, it's a really interesting question, and it is a definitely interesting morning. None of us sort of saw this coming. My gut instinct is it was NAFTA in Ohio, and it was the 3 a.m. phone call in Texas. The 3 a.m. phone call, it's interesting to me that this time it wasn't a phone, it was a child sleeping. It was targeted to women. She had to bring the women back over to her side. She'd been losing them to Obama, and you know what? They came back.
I mean,
and that ad was good.
No, it wasn't. The phone rang 8 times. Who do you want answering the phone? I don't know. Somebody, maybe on the second ring. Let me play something that we played last night. This is exclusive audio from one of my radio affiliates down in Texas, KURV, and they talked to Hillary Clinton about 7 o'clock last night about Florida and the delegates. Listen carefully to what she said.
I think that those Florida voters deserve to be taken seriously, and I hope we can figure out how we're going to get them to count. Well, the people in Florida didn't sign up to any rules. The Republican governor and Republican legislature pretty much pushed this on them.
Liz, I got to ask you, because you're a Democrat. It wasn't the GOP. It was the DNC. It was the national DNC that did these rules, and I mean, now they're trying to change the rules. How did they get away with it?
Well, the DNC isn't trying to change the rules.
No.
The Clintons are trying to change the rules.
Yes.
No, I have to tell you, as a Democrat, this really kind of makes me angry because the DNC set the calendar. Florida decided to move its primary anyway. The DNC said, we're not going to count your delegates. Florida said, we don't care. And then here we are. So if you have someone to blame, you got to go look at actually the Florida Democratic Party, who made the ultimate decision that they were going to move forward with this. And, with all due respect to Senator Clinton, whom I do have respect for, she needs to play by the party rules. And in Michigan and in Florida, she needs to not have those delegates count. But it's going to be a war. It is.
Rich, could you please explain to Liz what conservatives have known for a very long time? They change the rules whenever it applies to whenever it helps them. They'll change the rules.
Yeah, the Clintons take very seriously that Dylan Thomas line, or maybe it's Bob Dylan. They don't go gentle into that good night. They rage against the darkness. And I'm telling you, this is far from over. Liz is right. This is going to get really ugly, really fast, and that's only good news for John McCain.
I have to tell you, I don't think that Barack Obama, and it kind of started with the SNL thing, which I don't know how much of a role that played, but Barack Obama can't take a punch. He has not been punched enough to take a punch. I saw him on the news shows this morning. I saw him on, 5, 6 different channels. And every time he was stumbling and fumbling. Now, granted, he may have been tired, or he just, maybe learning how to do television from me. But he wasn't real good.
Well, I mean, one of the things that's, I mean, the Saturday Night Live thing did have an effect, and so did Wilson, the press secretary, the communications director for the Clinton campaign. They put on a very, very strong case to the National Press Corps that the Saturday Night Live thing really was so. And you remember in that debate last week, she said, "Why do I always get the first question?" Mrs. Clinton is great. She's best when she's America's victim,
Yeah.
and she did it again.
Liz, do you see 1968 coming again? I don't know how you decide this with superdelegates and add-on delegates and not disenfranchise a lot of people. I mean, how do you solve this one now?
Well, I got to tell you, Glenn, if I knew how to solve this today, I'd be making a lot more money. But the God's honest truth is that, I don't think we know yet. I do think it can be solved before we get to Denver in August. I think every Democrat in the country wants this solved before we get to Denver. Nobody wants to see a brokered convention. We know that weakens us.
Do you think that they'll go VP, President and VP? You think they'll team up?
I don't think she would ever be his VP. I think he might be her VP. But right now, they're both pretty mad at each other.
Yeah.
I don't really see them teaming up, no.
Okay, thanks.